us live, would you please?
Don't suck at it.
Hi, we're live. Some guy retweeted my Aaron Rodgers chugging bear tweet. Says, "Guy takes 10 minutes to drink half a Michelob Ultra."
That was a great tweet.
That's funny.
Was that like recently? Because I thought there was
That's
like
tonight.
Bakhtari. Okay, because Bakhtari got targeted for that at an earlier game, didn't he? Where he
Think so.
chugged too?
Yeah, and then everyone else is pointing out that the girl that's sitting next to Rodgers is the Bucks team owner's daughter, and she's wearing a Pusher T t-shirt. For those of you that aren't familiar, Drake, who is the super fan of the Toronto Raptors, has a very, very strong ongoing beef going with Mr. Pusha T. And Mr. Pusha T is the one that told the world that Drake has an illegitimate son. Caused the whole big thing. So for her to be wearing this Pusha T shirt courtside is a big fuck you to Drake. Yep. Duke, you should totally talk to your class about it tomorrow, and your street cred will go like through the fucking roof. We'll be like, damn, Charlie Tilson knows about Drake and Pusha T.
Damn, Charlie Tilson knows about. Oh God.
All right, you guys ready to talk some bizball?
Baseball.
Bizball. 3, 2. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, May 24th. It is a long weekend. Summer is here, kind of, depending on where you live. You found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. We are back after a little hiatus. I'm your host, Matt Zwaski. They call me Southside Zoe. And with me tonight, we have the full crew. We have Mr. Aldo Soto.
Hello.
Mr. Matt Anuko, a.k.a. Charlie Tilson.
I'm here. That's all I got.
And Mr. Kevin Fiddler, still rocking the Los Angeles Knights jersey, staying strong.
What the hell?
I said Las Vegas. Shit. Oops.
Oh,
What the hell?
Yeah.
We might. Yep.
Hey.
I'll take a lap. I'll take a lap for that one.
Diet Coke kid.
Yep. I'll take a lap. But we got a good show for you. A lot of stuff has happened since our last episode. White Sox are trying to split a 4-game series with the Houston Astros, B team, and the Cubs are still sitting in first place. We're going to get into what's going on in the minor leagues with the White Sox, who we think is going to come, who's going to go, who should be thrown in the ocean. And then with the Cubs, Javi, KB, and Rizzo all are heating up at the right time, and Addison Russell is worthless. So with all that being said, let's get into the show. Let's tap this keg. This show is brought to you by Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you go and download the app. Turn on those push notifications. Be notified as soon as breaking Chicago sports news happens. Sports Mockery, sportsmockery.com, as well as TickBlitz, tickblitz.com. Make sure you're going there for all your tickets need, concerts, comedy shows, baseball games, anything. It's very easy to find the best tickets that you are looking for. Guaranteed tickets. Don't have to deal with scalpers. Some of the lowest prices you'll find on the web. TickBlitz, TIXBLITZ.com. And the TickBlitz stat of the week is 178.
Yonder Alonso's batting average.
Yonder Alonso's batting average going into this game tonight against the Houston Astros. So that's what we're going to start out with. To start the show is I want to throw Yonder Alonso into the ocean.
You got to start a GoFundMe for the White Sox to pay whatever that money is.
I don't think it's that. Is it that bad? I haven't looked it up.
That's like $8 million or something.
Oh,
Is it that much? I thought it was like 2.
Yeah, I thought it was way lower than that.
No, I don't think so.
So
I mean,
you're saying throwing them in the ocean's cheaper?
yes. So we're gonna look up his
I was going
contract.
to say something really insensitive, but I won't. That has to do with
It's a team option. Oh,
Yeah.
You know what? So if you cut them in mid-year,
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
you still have to
definitely,
pay him.
it's
$8 million
definitely
this year.
it's $8 million.
yeah, but it's prorated because you're almost halfway through the season. So if you can get to July, it's only 4. And when you DFA him, if somebody else picks him up, they take his salary.
No one's going to pay. Or no one's gonna
I
pay.
don't know. Cleveland likes him.
They do. The thing
Terry
is, though,
Francona.
so wait, if he keeps this up, and we've talked about how he's actually walking, I think he's like, does he lead the team in walks? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
does. 24 going into tonight.
So like, and then there's the whole thing with you don't know what they're gonna do with Abreu, but you assume that he's gonna come back because Rick Hahn keeps like saying he's like he means a lot to them.
Yep.
I mean Jose Abreu is still producing, so that's good too.
hmm
And then you have like all these guys who are just like DHs and first basemen for the White Sox minor leagues. Like, there's no way that they're gonna pick up his option for next year, right?
No,
No.
I don't know.
No way.
There's no way. And I mean, with all these guys in the minor leagues that you just mentioned, although it feels like he's taking up a valuable seat. You know,
it's only
so-
$1 million, so it's a $1 million buyout.
Is it even a buyout? Really?
Oh, wait, so it's a 2020 vesting option includes $1 million buyout. It vests with 550 plate appearances in 2019 or 1,100 plate appearances in 2018 and 2019. So how many did he have last year?
I don't know.
He's at 157 going into tonight's game where he's 0 for 3, so he's at 160.
So we get
He's
this to
Pretty
the-
close.
He's gonna
to
get
the
it.
place where he
But
just starts
that's
getting benched.
But you're saying that vesting option becomes
He
a
has to
$1
get
million
the 550.
buyout.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, he was brought here to do two things. He was brought here to bring
And he
Manny
failed at
Machado,
one.
to Chicago, fail, and hit. And he's not doing either. Well, one's over. He messed that up. But
It's a bad omen.
he's
That was rough, man.
going into tonight's game versus Houston. His slash line is 178 with an OBP of 287, slugging 318 with an OPS of 606. You're
Some magical slugging numbers.
You're a specialty hitter. Like, no one's like, damn, we got Yonder Alonso's glove out there. No one gives a shit about that. He's a good fielder. He's not terrible. He can hold his own. But you didn't get him for, he doesn't bring value on the field. So with a slash line like that, it's
the thing on base. And he does get on base, but he's slow as hell. So, like, it's like, well, there's an out whenever
Yes.
he's on base.
And currently, as we record the show, the White Sox are in the bottom of the sixth versus the Houston Astros, and he's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. I mean, why is
Who's
it?
they facing?
They
Wasn't anybody good?
Houston rolled that kid out, Martin,
That's right.
Corbin Martin, and he looked pretty rattled. He was having some control issues, and then he was just doing get me overs. And Eloy, let's stop talking about Yonder. I'm done with it.
Said the magic word.
Yonder's getting slapped with the hashtag done.
Sure.
Yep, Yonder's done. Eloy did his stint in Charlotte, tuned it up a little bit, came back on Wednesday night, hit 2 bombs off of Garrett. Well, one was off Garrett Cole. Looked fantastic. And then tonight, early in this game against Houston again, hit a fucking piss missile. I mean, that thing rocketed off the bat. And I don't know. Although you kind of brought it up, or you didn't kind of, you brought it up. It was a really good point. Maybe he should have started the season in Charlotte.
Right? Because he had that. I mean, it was the injury too, so he was just like not playing baseball for a couple weeks, but he had a nice little reset, and now he's getting off to that, that restart of looking like the player that everyone thought he was going to be.
It's such an easy swing, and the home run on Thursday night, as we're recording this, came off the bat at 112 miles an hour.
Oh, he had another homer? Solo shot?
Yep, he hit one tonight too. So he has 3
Yeah.
home runs in the last 2 games.
The best
Very
thing is that when he goes opposite field, and it looks so effortless, and he's just like hitting the ball 400 feet to right field.
Mhm.
Yes, it's fantastic, and it's the fielding. I feel like we're witnessing him get a little bit more confident being a Major League Baseball left fielder. It's still definitely not there. I would even say he's a below average fielder.
Oh, I mean, he's like one of the worst.
Yeah,
He's now he's
I
one of
mean,
the
listen,
brutal.
Pat Burrell survived in left field for how many years?
mhm.
So, he'll be okay. He's not going to save a game defensively, but his bat has to be in there, and he's okay, I think.
Yep, and he's a kid, and I mean, you got to imagine there's still some room for.
Yeah, some development.
Again, that's the thing. He doesn't have to be average. I mean, it's left field. Just have a decent arm.
Just
and
get the
don't
ball in
be
the
a complete
infield.
butcher. Yeah.
Get the ball in the infield, catch the ball in the air.
Right, and that I'm good with that because I mean, in 6 plate appearances from Wednesday and Thursday night, he took his OPS from 642 to 743.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel pretty good about it. And in a week where White Sox Twitter, for some reason, went into a really dark place, it definitely helps the cause to see, I guess, the crown jewel in the rebuild just start balling out against one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. I mean, he's doing what you wanted him to do, what we all thought he could do. He's just got to sustain this.
yes, that is the key.
But we also can't expect him to jack 3 bombs every 4 days, and you know what I mean.
Why not?
Well, maybe 3 bombs every 4 days, not maybe not 3
Every
bombs
2.
every 2 days. So I mean, he may go on a streak. He'll probably get a little streaky. I don't know, but I mean, if he carries, just got to see how it goes. I mean, the expectations for him are just go out there, play, get used to it. Kind of like we had for Moncada, where everybody was, ready to throw Moncada in the ocean last year.
Right.
I love what he's doing this year.
It's
Looks
crazy
comfortable.
to me. It's crazy to me that you're saying that Sox Twitter's it got dark. I mean, they're 4 games under 500. A year ago today, they were 15-31, 16 games under 500, and it's dark now. What was it a year ago? Like,
we still had optimism last year.
Yeah, like
because we didn't miss Manny Machado.
This is strong quality progress, though. Did you really think they were going to contend this year? I mean, they're putting together a decent product where they're a player or 2 away, and Eloy's actually succeeding, which is good. Obviously when he's healthy, he doesn't seem to be intimidated, doesn't seem to be overmatched, and so that as he keeps getting that experience, he's going to hit his low points. He's going to have a struggle, but if you're treading water with this group, and you know that you can go out in the next couple seasons and you're going to make that jump, especially when the pups get older and more mature, you're in a great place. It doesn't usually happen. The Cubs the Cubs situation was a bigger freak show because it just happened like immediately, but there was already quite a bit of crap wedged in there too to get there, and it wasn't like an overnight thing per se, but it just the record changed because all the pups were ready at once. In this case, they're mostly ready, and you're getting a pretty good baseball.
Well, and the difference is, we talked about it the last time we were on. You're actually like we've talked about Moncada, how he's been good. He's struggled a little bit in May. Anderson's still hitting like above 300, and yeah, the defense has to get better, but he's on offense. He's been like exceeded all expectations. James McCann looks like a guy that could do something. Charlie Tilton's like hitting 300. Eloy, he's starting to come around, coming back from the injury. So you have all these guys, and yeah, you're not always going to win because you have like 4 starting pitchers on your staff right now, and you can only count on Giolito and Lopez every time.
We still have Dylan Covey in rotation.
Every time I see Dylan Covey now, like he's like throwing okay, and I'm like, what does this mean?
Throwing okay. He got lit up the other night, didn't he?
He's going to be He's going to be a great long reliever. He's not a starter.
God. Kill me.
But the thing is, you have like all these guys who are like, actually producing some stuff, and obviously you don't have the overall talent to. I mean, there's still a couple games below 500, but yeah, they're competitive.
Can we look at this a little? Like, Kevin, your point. I was on the Sean and Maya show this morning, and we were talking about this. It is the strangest record that I don't know how to feel about the White Sox with this, because they're 4 games out of the second wild card. They're almost 3 games. They're almost to 500, and I just keep if I don't catch a game, I just keep watching the record. Like, why are we that good? Because we're not that good. How do we win? How do we do this? So can we look at the schedule? I mean, the AL Central we know is a disaster, except for Minnesota.
Oh man.
Well, like this stretch right here is supposed to be the minefield. You're playing Houston, and
Right.
you're getting the B team, but who cares? The win's a win. It's
But I feel like we played the Blue Jays like for a
Yeah, they
month.
played the Blue Jays and the Orioles like 12 times in 2 weeks.
Did not
But guys,
capitalize.
this is the stretch. I just saw the upcoming schedule.
Right. Yeah.
No, the Sox can like if the
They
Sox
can
are,
really.
okay. So the big test is obviously going to be the Twins, who have the best record in baseball.
And then
So, I mean,
it's
that's like the biggest measuring stick. And then you have Kansas City. We don't know, but I mean,
Right.
sign them, give them a couple weeks to get ready, and it's July.
That's
Did I just talk myself into the White Sox being a wild card team?
a
Yeah, I know, I'm
decent
here
team?
for it.
Yeah. But isn't that weird though? Like if you put the White Sox in the AL East,
They're like second.
I
to
mean
last place.
they're the Orioles.
Yeah.
If you put them in the NL East, they're not. No, right?
literally, you can do
Well,
this for every.
If you
division.
take them out of the National
Every
League,
division, right? If you
Yeah.
take them,
if you put them in the Pacific Coast League,
they might contend. But
Second place.
but even still having said that, they're still. I mean that second wild card considers the entire league. They're still close to that second wild card.
Yeah.
I don't know how many teams. I don't have it in front of me. How many teams are actually
I
in
do.
that hunt? How many are and what teams are?
I think they're
Right
above
now,
us.
Tampa Bay at 29 and 18 holds the first wild card spot.
Mhm.
The Red Sox hold the second wild card spot, and then it goes Texas, Cleveland, Oakland, and then the White Sox.
See, that's where you have trouble. Those top two
Yeah.
teams, because
Well, right, yeah, because the Yankees and Boston are going to get in.
and I mean the Rays have like one of the best pitching staffs in baseball.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, back out. All right,
So
let's
it's like-
go for a competitive.
But it is
couple weeks
that
here.
weird feeling though, right? Like we literally went from like talking to ourselves like, why are we good? Yeah, we're good. We can do it. And then we're like, no, we can't.
And the thing
No.
is, the White Sox, they've had like the big hurdle you always want to get to, like as a team or whatever. It's like, all right, let's get above 500, and then like, let's see where we go. The White Sox have had a couple chances the past couple weeks to get to 500, and then like they have a
Stand
clunker against the Orioles, or they split a series against the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And it's like
So-
it's like they get there and then they lose a couple games, and it's like, all right, well, gotta climb the mountain again.
If they finish tonight out, they'll be 23 and 26.
See, this is gonna be the White Sox. They're gonna get swept in Minnesota.
ooh,
Yep. I can't let myself think that they're going to be a wild card team. I can't do it.
All right, so okay, 500 team, 80 win team.
500, I'm good with. 500 is.
That's a massive improvement. That's like 12
is.
improvement
They were a 100 loss team last year.
or 20 game improvement.
4 years in a row. That's a massive improvement over a 5-year span.
And then you got kids like Lubob coming up, still tearing it up in Double-A. You got to figure out what the hell was Zach Collins. You know what I mean? Like,
Got to figure out what to do with John Jay.
What do you? What do you do though? Like again, what if you're the front office and some of your younger guys down on the farm are playing? They're showing you the things you want to see that might warrant maybe a late season call up. But instead of waiting until the end of the season and you're in the thick of like a quasi wild card race and you want to get them a little bit of an experience in that hair on fire kind of moment. But with that idea that if they come up and suck, so what? It's the gamble they're willing to take to get those guys an experience in that moment. Like again, you can't teach or coach that type of experience when games matter all the time. Generally, most of the time, franchises trying to rebuild, when they're bringing up those late season call-ups, they're playing meaningless ball games. It's meaningless baseball. So maybe have the young guys come up and say, hey, you know what? We're going to bring you guys up, play some meaningful baseball. If you trip over your own feet, so what? You got the experience. You're better for it. We didn't expect to contend this year anyway, but hey, look at that. We got it under your belt. Looking on to the next year, and you're ready to go.
Well,
I'm
the
all
big
for
name, and I think it's going to be a signal of what the Sox think they are this year is Dylan Cease, because they need another starting pitcher because everyone's going down. And even when even if Manny Banuelos comes back, it's like he's been bad after starting against the Orioles.
yes.
So that's not a guy that you can be like, all right, yeah, start him every fifth day. And Dylan Cease, just like we said, they're going to follow the Kopech footsteps and take him easy. I mean, he hasn't pitched more than 6 innings in any of his starts this year. Rick Hahn, there's something in the Sun Times where he said, "Yeah, we're not going to rush a guy just because we think like we can win a couple extra games. You know, we want to position ourselves where we're like good in the long run. It's not just about the short term."
Well,
And I just don't see them like calling up Cease, and that's the big name where you're like, all right, they're turning on the switch here. They think they're better than whatever the expectations were.
they're going to alter how they draft too here in a couple weeks, in 10 days? Because again, we were talking earlier too about, you go in there and if you don't feel like it's close, you're going to go with maybe like the Abrams kid who's a high school kid. But if you feel like you're close and you've got, you're looking for something, you're going to get that Vaughn kid out of Cal because the kid's raking and he's almost a major league ready hitter now, and he could actually literally be that replacement for Abreu at first, and a DH kind of bat. But he's a mature bat that's probably maybe at the low end 2 years ready, if not a year and a half ready, like some of the other guys that you get out of the college level. You could have a guy that's, will that alter how they draft? If they see that, if they can kind of smell it a little bit, will they go after Vaughn compared to the Abrams kid, who the Abrams kid is obviously projecting to be a great middle infielder at some point, but not for another 3-4 years. So I don't know how
it's a good point. And then things got leaked out earlier this week that the White Sox might go pitching at 3, which please don't. But I mean, it's just,
hey man, all your arms are already getting injured.
right. Well, that's the thing. I'm looking Dylan Cease right now. After his start tonight, he's sitting 4-1 with a 3.38 ERA. 40 innings pitched. He's given up 40 hits, 15 earned runs, only 3 homers. He's only walked 15 guys, and he's got 48 strikeouts.
if the Sox draft arms, they failed in that draft. If they draft in their spot, there are 10 offensive guys before there is one draftable pitcher in that draft. Yeah, I mean, you've got all the way down to the where's the catcher? The catcher from what? Baylor? Is it Baylor? The Langoliers kid? And you guys hear me talking about Bryson Stotts. Obviously, Stotts not gonna fall that far, but there's literally maybe one pitcher in that whole thing. So if the White Sox draft for need, they're gonna fail.
Right.
You go with the best talent available.
Well, that's the thing though. They need a lot. So, so I mean, they need hitters. They need a lot.
The Abrams guy is a freak.
That's what I keep seeing. We'll see though, and we'll definitely stay up on that as the draft gets closer. White Sox have the 3rd overall pick.
And our guy Nick Hostetler, he said we're going to take the best guy on the board. So
I'm good with that because I think it goes Baltimore, and then I can't think of who's the second pick. Is it Kansas City? Whoever has the second pick is basically already said they're taking that shortstop kid.
Witt.
Yeah.
I think it's Kansas City.
So that's like a done thing. So depends on where Baltimore wants to go. If Baltimore somehow screws this up and doesn't take that Roachman kid or Rochman, cool.
Rochman? No.
Yeah, Rushman.
Yeah. Apparently he's the most polished. He's the consensus overall pick. But for some weird reason, certain people think that Baltimore, for some reason, won't take him number 1 overall. And I don't know. Do the White Sox want to draft another catcher?
You just take the best talent, though. You don't want to be the guy that didn't.
That's true. We already bricked on Mike Trout. So
longest of cautionary tales, thanks to that guy.
I'm not doing that because that was another cool thing to do this week on White Sox Twitter was all the rookies that played well. They could have drafted them if they did this. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. Just give it up. But I don't know. I mean, you guys messed me up.
Okay, all right. Let's stay realistic though. Let's be realistic in the positivity for the White Sox.
Yes.
Moncada, good.
Mm-hmm.
Anderson, good. Even though that his commercial is corny.
It is corny.
He's
He's two-sided, although, come on, don't do that.
Okay, James McCann, good.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Giolito, really good.
Really good.
And then,
Eloy, doing better.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Eloy, doing better now.
Charlie Tilson, I don't hate him anymore.
Charlie Tilson's doing stuff, positive stuff. No more dealing with Adam Engel and his 200 batting average.
Yeah, he needs to buy a house in Charlotte and just stay there.
Jose Abreu still hitting dingers and driving in runs.
Yeah.
So, there's still a lot of good. And then,
Yolmer Sanchez isn't making me want to punch my TV.
It's too late though. You're already done with Yulmer, so don't even.
I know I'm
forget
done
about it.
with him, but I mean, he's not making me very, very mad.
So after the series against the Twins, it's 14 games against like 4 pretty bad teams. Go 9-5.
Mhm.
Go on a run.
If you can roll in tomorrow and sting the Twins in game 1, you've already won this. You've already won that series as far as like I think the Sox are concerned. You're not going in there and getting swept out. But momentum's good. I mean, you win, you beat Houston. Yeah, everyone's feeling good. The flight in's pretty nice. Everyone's having a good time.
Can you hear
You're
me
rolling
now?
out there without a care in the world and
Yes.
go hit Minnesota right in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, the Twins are on fire right now. Twins hit 8 fucking home runs today. Like the Twins are like a experienced video game player playing on rookie right now.
They'll
They're
be
just
tired tomorrow by hitting all the home runs. They've wasted all of that
that's good.
energy.
They had to run a lot of bases today.
Mhm.
So maybe they're a little tired. But the nice thing, it sucks too. They're going into Minnesota. I was going to say the nice thing, they're going to Minnesota because it's supposed to piss rain here all weekend. So they're actually going to play. But
Do you remember 2 years ago when it snowed over
Yeah.
there?
They're like
Yes.
3 straight.
How bad
snowouts.
that was. They were like, you get the weekend off.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Blizzard.
So they have Lopez going tomorrow. You feel okay about that, but it's against Barrios, who's
Ben lights
Stud.
out.
then Gibson against bullpen day again,
Yay.
and then
Dylan Covey.
Dylan Covey game 3. All right.
Yay, we get to see what's his face? Ryan Burr start another game.
Hey man. Hey, they only gave up 3 runs that entire game against Houston.
Right.
That-
Minnesota strikes out a lot too.
Their B team.
Yeah, Houston minus
Right.
Jose
Split squad.
Altuve,
Let's go.
minus Altuve and Springer, but we don't need to dwell on that.
We're splitting hairs.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs there. Just 2 MVP candidates, but don't worry about those guys. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I couldn't imagine rooting for a team and being that angry about it at all times. That's where my disconnect comes with the doom and gloom. Yes, I get pissed off at players, and that just I think comes with being as a fan. But like, it almost feels like people are like going out of their way now to try to get people to like.
But I think that has to do with not so much. It's not even the Manny Machado thing. It's just looking at the Twins, looking at the rest of the division, and being like, if they would have just signed
One.
1-2 capable offensive players instead of trading for Yonder Alonso and signing John Jay for some reason.
The John
Like-
Jay shit is just unbelievable.
It's like, hey, go
Well,
sign.
yeah.
Hey, Andrew McCutcheon would look nice.
Then it was Irvin Santana, then
Oh, yeah,
Ivan Nova.
yeah.
And I mean, compound all of this. It wasn't just missing Machado. It was then everybody got extended and free agency fell apart for the
And
future.
it's
Hey, you
made-
can still trade for Rendon. Nationals are out. They're garbage.
Can I ask a question? Does anybody want Yoan Moncada to move from third base?
No.
I think he's amazing at third base. Do not put him at second base ever again.
I think he's playing great at third. Defensively, he is exceeding my expectations for him defensively at third base. Hands
Don't
down.
put him at second. Don't even consider it.
I think it would mess with them if they moved him again.
Oh yeah.
really do.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. I mean, he was clearly uncomfortable there. He's a third baseman. And he's
Didn't he start at third base when he came up with the Red Sox too?
he was a shortstop, I think, in the Cuban League.
Yep.
But third base.
I also do think that the Nationals are going to have a fire sale soon.
I want the
But
Cubs.
I wouldn't blame it. They are a dumpster fire, man.
Poor Dave Martinez. He's gonna get fired.
Yes.
Well, what about the Mets too? Aren't they a little bit of a dumpster fire as well?
They do, and then they swept the Nationals.
That's right.
Dumpster fire took a dump on a dumpster fire.
Their GM had to like have a press
Competing
conference
dumpster
and be like, we are not. He is our manager for now.
For
What's his
Today.
name? Callaway or
yeah, what's his name? The media's been
Mickey
killing him.
Callaway? Yeah.
Mickey Callaway and Brody Van Wagenen. They're
Yeah.
like lighting him up too. I'm like, am I the only person that saw this coming with Brody Van Wagenen? I
Okay.
mean,
The Mets. I know we're taking a slight detour here,
Mhm.
but White Sox fans, they can be a lot worse because the Mets were The Mets were in the World Series 4 years ago. Ever since then, they're like ace, Matt Harvey. They're like suck,
Dark
and then
Knight.
just got traded away or got like cut. All their pitchers get injured. Jacob DeGrom,
Except for
the
DeGrom.
only good guy. They get Yoenis Cespedes. They sign him to a long deal. He's been hurt. He broke 2 bones in his ankle stepping in a hole in his farm this past weekend. What is this?
His
Unreal.
ranch in Florida. Do they have ranches in Florida?
Apparently,
They have swamps. I don't know about ranches.
fell into a sandpit or something.
Well, but on a positive for the Mets, Tim Tebow did hit his first AAA home run.
Oh, there you go.
Wait,
He's in AAA.
oh,
Oh my
never
God.
mind.
Yep.
That's how you know that
Rest
Tim
of AAA.
That's how you know Tim Tebow actually isn't good at baseball, because even with the juice balls, he's still garbage. Like he's gotten worse as he is.
Yes. But switching gears now to the first place Cubs.
Oh,
The Cubs currently sit at 29-19. They lead Milwaukee by a game and a half in the NL Central. And I feel like we've talked about it a bunch of times on this show, how Javi Baez and to an extent Wilson Contreras and Jason Hayward were really carrying this team through April and the early part of May. And we said repeatedly, just wait for guys like Chris Bryant and Rizzo to get hot. And now we're seeing that. And the Cubs are currently 5th in Major League Baseball in team batting average, 6th in Major League Baseball with team runs. And then the important stat that's been fixed is they're 5th in Major League Baseball in team ERA. So that's a huge jump for them, and that's one of the main reasons they're in first place. I mean, we're seeing Rizzo freaking busted the Budweiser sign. You know what I mean? And Cubs with the A+ epic Florida man tweet. And it's just, if you're a Cubs fan right now, like, I know you guys got me all fake hyped up for the White Sox, but like, you should definitely legit be excited about your team, because the squad is fucking
Back.
rolling right now.
Here's what's good, and I'll hand it off to Kevin after this. Jason Hayward was great in April. Yeah, like the best month, literally the best month of his like entire career. He's been horrible in May. He's back to the, everyone was mad at him in 2016 batter, but he's still taking his walks. He walked like 4 times on Thursday, so he still has like the highest walk percentage on the team, which is great. So he still plays his Gold Glove defense. He carried the offense for like a couple weeks in April. Now he's not hitting, but at least he's still getting on base. Albert Mora Jr., who I've shit on all the time since like last July.
True. It's a lot of
He's been on fire in May.
Huh.
He's been like their 3rd best hitter. As we talked about our last episode, Chris Bryant, actually good. Anthony Rizzo, pretty good. And then the Cubs are top heavy though, because everyone else has been brutal. They have no like second baseman who can hit or play defense. Daniel Descalso, old, bad, can't move, can't throw, can't hit. Not good. What
he
are you
went
doing here?
4 for May.
For like awful. Like, they're all,
Did he
like, single.
seriously? He went
That's
4
1
for
hit
May.
in May right now. 4 hits in May.
I mean, he's been awful. He has his batting average is like 120 or something in May.
Betting 209
He hit a
on the
double
season.
that someone misplayed and became a hero for about 12 hours till everyone realized he's 4 for May.
He's been awful.
Can we throw him in the ocean with Yonder? Over Yonder?
Maybe Ben. We finally learned why Ben Jones is away from the team. He's dealing with divorce. Sounds pretty shitty. He has 3 little kids.
terrible.
He might retire. So the Cubs are out another infielder.
Yeah, that shit got ugly fast.
Addison Russell comes back from his domestic violence suspension.
Rudy.
Is absolutely garbage. Has a noodle for an arm. So every time you play a shortstop, good luck to any double plays because he can't throw. Apparently.
I hope
In
his
tight spots, he's been choking again.
I hope his 26 batting average was worth all the bad press and all that other bullshit.
It's pretty hilarious that Phil Rogers is tweeting out Russell's stats and how the Cubs desperately need him on the team. He's been awful. David Bodie can't play defense anymore, and he hasn't been good in May hitting. So the Cubs are like down to no one on their major league roster that they can play like second base and be anything positive, either on defense or offense. So they might have to like call up Ian Happ, who's kind of been like
Terrible.
not that good at AAA. Like he just has like random good games. I think yesterday they played a doubleheader and he had like 4 hits, a home run, a couple doubles, but it's like he has like one good game every week.
I mean,
Oh.
that's a really glaring problem in your organization to say we have nobody we can bring up to even plug it defensively.
They have a couple guys, but it's like, who the fuck are these guys? And then they have like who would
Who the
literally
fuck
be-
are these guys?
like, who would literally just be like glove first, and it's like, all right, they can
Right.
be like a defensive replacement, but like they just need anyone who can start and be positive.
That was Avi for a while.
Mhm.
Yep.
That was El Mago for until last year.
Now he's like just consistently the
stud.
best hitter on the team. Nico Horner, who if he doesn't get injured, is probably like, hey, are they gonna bring him up? But he like got hit on the wrist in like April 23rd. He went on the injured list for a week, and then he went to Arizona. And then the Cubs, for some reason, for the past like 2 years, don't know like how to do X-rays or something. Because then 3 weeks later, they discovered that he has a fracture. Like the Cubs are this storyline hasn't been. I've briefly touched upon it before. The Cubs are like really bad with injuries.
They're
Like
really
they
bad.
had the Rizzo thing. It's like, oh, he has a sore back. He'll be back like in a couple of days. He missed like 4 games.
Turns out
Last
he
year
got
with
spinal
the whole Bryant
meningitis.
They had no clue. Brad Rag or this thing with Horner, like they just, hey, do an MRI right away.
Due
He's one of your
diligence before they signed Morrow.
Morrow, like they took him like 4 MRIs to figure out what was wrong with him. Darvish needed a second MRI.
Yeah, like they couldn't figure out what was wrong with Darvish's labia. And oh,
So the Cubs are in first place.
You meant labrum?
labrum.
No.
Labrum. Yeah.
They meant
Joe?
labia.
No, I meant
They're in
labia.
first place. I should be more happy. Their bullpen is just Kyle Ryan. Goodbye. Brandon
Yeah.
Kinsler. Talk shit. He had that little threw shade at the Nationals bullpen last week. Ever since then, he's like allowed a hit every time he's come in. He's been garbage.
He needs to shut up. He's the kind of guy that needs to shut up too. Like shut up and pitch. Chatwood's
And
been
it's
good though, man. The story of Sir Tyler has been
Tyler
quite
Chatwood's been
quite exciting this year. He could, I mean, again, he could develop into your Bridger or even a guy late that could close if he could stop with the free passes. You can't have a guy
he's still
close with free
boxing.
passes, but his stuff is so dirty. When he's
So-
on, you're
Let's
good.
put on GM hat. Cubs need a second baseman, right?
we don't want Yolmer Sanchez. Stop. I know that's what you were gonna say.
That was my first option. Let me. So
You won't put
Option
Yohan
B.
Moncada at second. The Cubs will put Yohan Moncada at second.
no, even though when I sort these second baseman stats on Yahoo, they still have Yohan Moncada as a second baseman. Figure that shit out.
That's why it's Yahoo.
So the New York Yankees have 2 good second basemen in DJ LeMahieu and your boy Gleyber Torres.
Okay.
Who's
I mean, I'm not gonna trade them. They're in first place.
I'm just saying, but I mean,
Oh, like I didn't want TJ
is
Lee. I didn't want
Tulowitzki
TJ
still playing shortstop for them? By the way,
he already got
who's playing short for the Yankees right now?
it.
Thought it was Torres.
Yeah, it's Glaber.
Yeah,
'Cause
they both Gleyber and DJ both qualify as second baseman, so that's why I didn't realize DJ LeMahieu is 329, 374, 459, 833.
Did you
Yeah,
mention
raked him.
Derek Dietrich? Is that who you mentioned?
Oh, that's who the Cubs did. The Cubs. It's the thing. So the Cubs bullpen, they'll trade for someone. Who knows how great that talent is going to be, and they could still technically go for Kimbrel if they want to spend money.
Mhm.
The Cubs had every chance in the world to sign like any good middle infielder. They had that Iglesias guy that was like defensive stud for the Tigers last year. He signed a minor league deal with the Reds. He's
Yeah.
been great so far. Could have had him for nothing. But they signed Daniel Descalso because he was like a veteran guy that could bring back some of that whatever leadership.
Can we finally admit now that we don't know, like, that these teams have gotten so nerdy, analytic heavy with these. Everybody's got their own little measurements on how they assign value to players that like literally like Descalso, like you said, like just
I needed the Cubs to be more nerdy on him. They went too far of like, oh, he's a good guy.
well, right, that's what I mean.
Bullshit. Get away.
Is that-
Give me good players. Give me I don't care. I don't care if Daniel Descalso has like great chemistry, these guys. Give me a guy who can like move laterally.
I heard the Marlins have their second baseman on the trade block.
Who's that?
Oh, he's a guy. He might do okay at Wrigley as long as he's facing
Starling?
the infield.
Oh, you really want to do that?
No, absolutely not. I was kidding. Actually. But
You really want to
I
do
like the
that?
Dietrich guy though. The Dietrich guy is versatile, can play multiple spots, which kind
Yeah,
of fits into a
Dietrich.
Madden kind of thing.
Perfect
And,
guy.
and the Brewers are kicking the tires on him, so why not the Cubs go in and swoop him? Because the Brewers have had dog shit second base performance this year too.
I'm sure the Nationals will give you Brian Dozier.
Well, no. I want the Cubs to trade for Anthony Rendon. I know it's a pure like it's fantasy.
Why? Tell me how that works. Tell me how that's good for the Cubs.
Just put Rendon at third, move Bryant to left. Move
Then-
Bryant to right.
But who goes to second?
It was a second? You
You
just
still don't have a second baseman.
You just introduced chaos into into a
No.
World
You
Series
fixed
team.
nothing. You just log jammed with Bodie, Bryant.
Hey, no, I don't need Bodie playing every day. Bodie is not an everyday player. He's a guy who plays a couple days a week, comes at late innings, like on a double switch. David Bodie's playing every day now, and he's not an everyday player.
So
I
you
don't
just want to get rid of Kyle Schwarber.
I know I don't, because you can put Bryant in right field. But hell, put
Still
Rendon.
can't
at
play
second base.
second.
I don't care. Put Bryant at second base.
You still have a huge gaping hole on second base.
Just do shifts everywhere. I don't care. Put Javier
I was
Baez
just gonna say that's what that's the
in
solution.
the middle of the
only lead
infield.
off
Nobody hits the ball to second base, so don't play there.
They're renaming the position. You're going to play short left over here. Okay, good. That's against the hard righty. All right, good. Everybody else, you're going to shuffle here. You're going to go mid sec. Okay, and you're going to go middle second.
Oh, that's
And it's like little league defense or like kickball.
I mean, this could all have been avoided if Addison Russell didn't suck ass.
This could have been avoided. The Cubs would have signed Manny Machado, which was they could have done that too.
I love that we're on the same page.
Welcome to the club. I don't know what to say about that one.
Our Manny Mania.
Wasn't LeMahieu a free agent? Or was
Yes.
he, I mean, they had an option. You could have gone after a guy that actually enjoyed being a Cub and was well liked here, and they just right because he was free.
Mayhew was with Colorado, weren't
With
they?
Colorado.
They,
right?
they
Was he a
traded
free agent?
Mayhew like 3
Oh, they
years
traded-
ago.
it was a trade.
He was a free agent, yeah.
He was free agent though, yeah, and he's a good option, but
But apparently they didn't have. That's the thing though, because the whole thing of the offseason was, oh, we don't have the money to spend. All right, you didn't need to spend $10 million on a second baseman. You could have had these like guys on minor league deals
Right.
who are
The-
all of a sudden either great defensive guys or Dietrich, who has like 9 home runs for the Reds or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's raking, and he's hilarious.
Iglesias was a good point. He's a slick fielder. So
These Cubs. I don't know. The big thing is they can survive because their top 4 guys and Schwarber's turning around. He had a bomb on Thursday. He has like a 450 on base percentage in his last 100 plate appearances.
And the pitching has turned around. The starting pitching has
Starting
completely-
pitching, but the bullpen is still trash.
bullpen's
Yeah.
kind of gone down a little bit.
Bullpen still need. You only trust Steve Cishek.
Do you think Theo goes after a Kimbrel?
I don't see how he does it, but
I mean, the whole thing, I guess, is like, oh, they didn't want to give up the draft pick, which at this point, if you're
That's
competing
over
for
in
World
June.
Series championships, I don't know why you care
Right.
about
Well, is-
the 30th pick in the draft. But
wait,
so
why?
after
What?
the draft? His draft pick, because he's a free agent, goes away. So
After the draft, right? That's what I was gonna say, right? So the same thing with Keuchel, right?
Yep.
Weren't they both qualifying offer guys?
mhm. So
You see, like that would be the silliest, dumbest reason to not sign these guys
Yeah.
because there's 50 flipping rounds, man.
Right.
Like that's I wanted when I was on mute earlier, and I wanted to jump in on the draft. The baseball draft is so weird compared to every other draft because every other draft, those players, except for hockey and sometimes basketball, they pretty much go directly to the league, and there's only like 6 rounds in most of those drafts. You get 50 of these things, and that's why it's like Kevin, you were saying, you can't draft for need. So you got to go with the best player available because you don't know where you're going to trade him somewhere. So this whole if teams are actually doing this as a strategic move to not give up a sandwich pick,
It's
that's just dumb.
stupid.
Mhm.
But the big name that's been in the news that the Cubs have been reportedly linked to is the closer for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Kevin Giles. He's
Kevin
from
Giles.
Boston.
Ken Giles, he throws fucking heat,
Ken
bro.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh.
had that terrible postseason with the Astros in 2017.
It has some wrist issues recently.
Hey Aldo, I got a trade for you. It's with the White Sox. It'll be great.
Ooh.
We'll give you Tiago Vieira.
Boy, you hitting trip digits on the gun last night, son.
No clue where it's going though.
Game.
You
Wow.
can just have him. You could just have him.
Pass.
Him and
Even though
Dylan Covey. We'll give you Dylan Covey too.
He'd immediately be the hardest throwing reliever on the Cubs because the Cubs have no one who can throw
You
hard.
just gotta get him the black glasses like fucking Rick Vaughn, dude. That's what he's doing right now. Hitting trip digits. You just don't know where the hell it's gonna go. I'm pretty sure he threw a ball last night and ended up in a Whataburger in Texas. The thing's all over the goddamn place.
It didn't go into it; just went through the drive-through.
Oh yeah, it stopped though. They got good ass breakfast sandwiches.
I
the
remember
way,
when
Giolito,
Go ahead.
8 innings,
he
4
said
hits,
8 innings.
8
Wow.
days.
Shh. I'm not saying anything until it's over. Don't bring that up,
I don't blow it.
dude.
But seriously, you can have Tiago Rivera, and you can have Dylan Covey too.
Like the Cubs. I mean, there hasn't been the Cubs aren't going to make a big trade in May. It's like they're just calling up rent. They've had the Kyle Ryan, Alan Webster. He's not going to be up. That experience lasted.
Okay,
games of being
here's
good.
a serious one. Here's a serious possible trade. Do the Cubs really start calling Rick Hahn and the White Sox about Alex Colome
Yes.
soon?
Yes.
And do the White Sox pull the trigger on that? Is there something they can
White
get?
Sox should, because even though we just said the White Sox are going to be a wild card team, they should still be sellers. I mean, they should.
I don't know. I mean, what can we?
What do you get for a column?
Yeah,
Albert Almora Jr.
No, Tilson's fucking.
yeah.
rich.
Tilson. We got El Pantera.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Discuss.
Yeah.
and
No,
Addison Russell.
we got enough guys that can't move, and no, there's zero chance.
We'll give you Mark Zagunis.
Zero chance Rick Hahn takes on that PR night.
We'll give you David Bodie because we know the White Sox love player or team friendly contracts. So I get David Bodie for 5 years and $3 million a year.
Can Bodie play second?
He can play all over the infield.
Here's
Well,
another serious option. If the Nationals finally do decide to burn it all down,
They are.
Sean Doolittle.
Yeah, that's no name.
I mean, I think that's a serious possibility.
Yeah, he's a
It's
solid.
him, the closer for the Giants, because I don't know what the Giants are thinking that they're competing with
He's
a 40-year-old team.
yeah, what is that all about? They're the weirdest team out there on the
Yeah.
wet. No one knows what they're doing.
Ooh, the
I don't think
Giants?
they.
Yeah, the Giants.
They went out and signed McCutchen last year after losing a few.
They traded for him, didn't they? Traded for him.
They traded for him, yeah. And and they got Longoria, and it's you just loaded up your roster with people that are literally almost at the end of their career. What are you doing? Is Hunter Pence still playing?
Yeah, he's with the Rangers. He's raking.
Yeah,
He's
he's
raking with the Rangers.
San Francisco's 21-28 right now, and they are at the very bottom of the league in batting average, runs, and ERA.
Dude, their outfield, you don't know who is in their outfield.
I'm
You've
trying to
never
look
heard
at
of those
the
names.
team right now.
They still have Brandon Belt playing first base.
Yep.
His swing is painful.
Pablo Sandoval leads their team in home runs.
He's back.
He's back.
And is back.
Pitching. Little
he's-
blowout games.
Matt
So-
Davidson.
I think he's in the minors.
Yeah, he's on the Rangers AAA team.
Makes sense.
Joe Panic.
Joe Panic. Yeah, second baseman.
Yeah, he's batting 254. He leads their team in batting average at 254.
Wow.
They're terrible.
Kevin Pillar, they traded for the center fielder for some reason, and he has the most RBIs on the team. He's a damn good center fielder, though.
And their new GM came from LA.
Yeah, and they were trying to sign Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
I have
right.
no clue
Exactly. Like, what the hell are they doing? Again, the nerds have taken control of baseball. It's like there's a special metric we have to
needs to be on
buy.
the phone with like every terrible team that has any, like the A's, their closer. He's dirty. Trade a couple bucks for him.
I don't know. The A's are good though, aren't they?
But they're
Yeah.
they're
Phony
just
good.
not good enough for the wild card.
A's are 500.
And they're gonna finish like 15 games behind the second wild card.
Damn, Buster Posey's having a shitty year. Madison Bumgarner's having a real shitty year.
I think it's really bad news over there. I think that team and that clubhouse is sad.
When's the last time Madison Bumgarner had a 4.21 ERA?
I mean, he hasn't been himself since that last series.
Yeah.
You mean since that motorcycle accident out in the
That's right. His ATV, was it motorcycle?
yeah.
Mhm.
I think it wasn't, and I think it was in Colorado, like on a road trip, and it was after he like probably like blasted 2 home runs and dealt like a CG shutout.
Yep. And that was
And he's
like
like,
super awkward MVP trophy thing where he's like, oh yeah, that was really weird.
yeah.
The name of their closer is Will Smith.
Yeah, get Will Smith, get the memes going. Let's do it.
Fire up the meme machine.
Pedro's supposed to be back like maybe in a week at the earliest.
Where's Fernando Rodney? Get him back out there.
I remember I thought he was a lot better when he was with the Cubs for like 2 months in 2015. But
He's still
he
playing.
was terrible, but he's still playing. I mean, he's still sometimes getting saves.
He got lit up somewhere not too long ago. But there's options.
They got to go out and get something.
It's just the bullpen too. It drives you nuts because it was throwing well for a few during that nice stretch. It was almost like, ooh, it's fixed. They put the fire up, but then again, like here they go again.
Like you can just
can't hold it down. You can't. One thing about a bullpen too is you've got to be able to keep teams. You got to keep them in it. You might have a starter that goes out there like today. Lester kind of crapped the bed a bit, but hold them there. Let the offense have a little bit of time to play some catch up and get back in the game. But if you're going back out there, if you get one and give two, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to make you get the job done. That's the bullpen's biggest problem is it keeps giving.
What's up?
So you know how Aaron Rodgers got punked chugging that beer?
Yeah.
They just did it again, and Christian Yelich stood up and pointed at Rodgers and then chugged a full beer like a champ. And Rodgers, they put the camera back on Rodgers, and he was like shaking his head. So Christian Yelich, America's
I'm seeing it.
What?
I'm seeing it.
Yep.
Oh man.
Keep it down.
It's because he has that big ass mouth. He's used to gas eating. That's why.
Oh,
He said home run.
He has that extra row of teeth in the back, like a shark.
Yeah.
he's much like.
He actually hit a couple home runs outside of Milwaukee
He did, and then he got hurt again.
because he was so excited about hitting home runs not at home.
That guy's going to get traded from the Packers now because he's now publicly humiliated Aaron Rodgers.
Trade block.
That's fine because he's their best offensive lineman. So please trade him. I'm all for it. The other thing that's going on around the league, and I'm very happy to see this, is this is going to be a great Rookie of the Year competition this year. A lot of these kids that have come up, Tatis Jr., I know he got hurt, but Vladdy Jr., he's figuring it out, and he is destroying baseballs, just evaporating baseballs. We talked about what Eloy's doing. He's got a long road to come back. But now you got this kid in Atlanta. Holy shit, you guys see what he's doing?
Pitcher?
Oh, the hitter. He's got like 6 home runs in their last 4 games.
Wait,
who is that?
Kid's going nuts. Hold on, let me pull up on the Braves.
We're all about facts here.
Facts. All facts. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
You're talking about Soroka? No, it's a pitcher.
Hold on. It's a real easy common name. What the fuck? Austin Riley.
Oh, I have seen his name pop up. I have no clue who he was.
Yeah, he only had in 30 at bats. He's batting 367 with 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. And the kid is just, and these RBI or these home runs are not wall climbers. These
Breaking
things
news.
are
Breaking news.
what?
Lucas Giolito, complete game shutout.
Wow.
Against the Astros. What's up? Let's go, Lucas.
Didn't he pitch really well against them last year too? Like he went
B
8
team.
innings.
Split squad.
Lucas Giolito, 9 innings, only 4 hits allowed.
Debbie
No,
Downer. That should have been accompanied with a wah wah wah.
9
Is that
strikeouts.
right?
His season ERA is down to 2.77.
That's
Good for
unreal.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's
Stealing.
been great after his hamstring injury.
I can't believe they let him. They don't let people do CGs anymore. I think
Well,
this
he
is
didn't have
his second CG. I think this
How many
year,
pitches did he throw?
He only threw
107.
That's about
That's not bad at all,
I mean,
right?
it's no Maddox from Kyle Hendricks, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid outing if he's finishing
Oh, yeah.
anywhere under 110 and 9. That's strong.
Again. All right. So they were missing out 2. They were missing Springer, but still, that's a pretty good Houston
This is
lineup.
his-
He could, and check this out.
Defenders as well.
He threw almost
Oh, wait.
80. He threw almost 80% strikes.
Lucas Giolito
82 strikes.
has back-to-back complete games, but the
Right.
first one was that rain-shortened one.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it was only 5 innings.
And you know what?
Really?
Again, B team.
I remember the White
games.
Sox. The White Sox tweeted out because it was that game they called it, and it's like Lucas Giolito with his first complete game, and people were like, "Come on, it was 5 innings." But technically speaking, it was a complete game.
He had
And
9 strikeouts too.
The sad thing about that complete
Okay.
game stat, that was the White Sox first complete game since Chris Sale.
Right.
Oh. Well, hey, now you got a real one.
Now we got a real one against a team that can very easily be the World Series champs this year when they have their whole team. So,
It's still a good lineup, but
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
that's impressive. That makes me happy. Good job, Lucas. 'Cause
Complete game shutout doesn't matter. Yeah, you're good.
I mean,
Good job.
he gave up. I mean, actually, he very efficient. He missed the
I-
barrel 12
I
times,
watched-
23 called strikes, give up 26 foul balls. That's telling
Yeah.
me he's changing speeds a ton.
Yeah,
this changeup's been lethal.
and he still kept that pitch count down though, enough to do that.
And
26
20 balls
foul
in play
balls.
against the Astros. That's gonna be good. I mean, that
Mhm.
really limits the opportunity for them to hurt you. If it's 20 balls in play overall in the entire ball game, that's
Yeah, 9 Ks.
I mean, that's as impressive as you're gonna get.
That's legit. I mean, so like his season ERA now is 2.7. We said
277.
his 5-game stretch, was it? Over his last 5 games, he was at 1.68. He's probably
So as of
I'll
right
go
now,
look it up now.
take away his first 3 starts and look at what his ERA is.
Right.
He had a really rough second and third start. He's been chasing that ERA ever since. You take those 2 out, he's been really good.
Ever since his injury, and he left that game like with a no hitter against the Rails on April 17th. So his last 5 starts, that's now 5 earned runs in 33 1/3 innings.
That's excellent.
the
Healing, man.
Houston Astros now have 6 losses in Houston, and 2 of them are to the White Sox.
Wow. Astros killers, the White Sox. Oh.
Let's go. That's awesome.
You need the Astros on the schedule more. You need the Orioles on the schedule more.
Oh
Maybe again, confidence going in. One
That
punch in the mouth in Minnesota, and you've succeeded on the road.
That was the first White Sox complete game shutout thrown by a righty since
A righty?
a righty. So Chris Sale doesn't count.
Bartolo Colon.
Ooh.
Oh,
Jeff Samardzija
oh, jeez.
The Shark.
on September 21st, 2015.
Oh, my birthday. September
And
21st.
And
What's
he's on
up?
the Giants now.
Yeah, he's on Giants and bad. Just
Just bad.
bad with the White Sox then too.
Just collecting paychecks. But that's wild, though. So, no, hey, you know what? Do you guys got anything else about around the league or anything you want to bring up? Because otherwise, I'm ending this show on a Lucas Giolito complete game shutout.
I want robot umpires tomorrow.
Okay.
On check swings and balls and strikes.
Check swings especially.
And that's it.
I'm here
and
for that.
trade for like 2 bullpen arms, Theo. Thanks in advance.
I'm here for all the juice balls they want to throw out there.
Everything. Oh my God.
Looking at
that driver hitting a golf ball.
Well, looking at those, because we talked about that AAA story or whatever. But looking at the numbers in Major League Baseball, just like doing a little bit of background research for that was like it was mind-boggling to think that they're scoring more runs, but their batting average is dropping, and Major League Baseball is trying to stimulate the batting average part of it when it's an approach thing. It has nothing to do with the pitching being that much more dominant. It's just that the approach right now in Major League Baseball is I don't care if I strike out. I'm going to get my money's worth on every hack. And over the course of time, the numbers show that you're going to put up more runs. You're going to put up, 6 runs a game. And, if you looked at it too, this is actually the most runs scored, I think, since 2009. I think Major League Baseball is on pace right now. Okay. And yet their average is at one of its lowest points in the last 15 years, I think, if I'm not going crazy.
That's so bad for good baseball.
Yep, exactly. It's. I
mean, this is the conversation that we've had. It's not necessarily better. It's not necessarily that's the right approach. It's just well, it's what's working. It doesn't necessarily make it. It doesn't make it more enjoyable because all you're saying is strikeouts. But walk, get on base, hit home runs. That's how you win.
And they want to move the mound back 2 feet and lower the mound and take it down from 10 inches. I mean, I was looking at it was 15 inches with Bob Gibson. That's ridiculous. So 10's good, but I mean, next thing you know, just to make sure that even more long balls are being hit, the pitchers are going to be throwing on a negative mound uphill. They're going to push them underground. They're going to actually put them underground. They're going to have to throw upward at this point to make it. Because that's what they want. They want the offense, and ratings are down to an all-time low. And
they should just start playing 16-inch softball like real men.
I think they should have dance.
This will be the last grenade I throw into this whole podcast. But I was watching the U.S. Open last weekend, and I'm like, how does golf do it? Would people rather watch golf than baseball?
Tiger Woods
says F you, like us or not. Walk away if you don't. That's what golf does. Although there was someone that said
they're a bunch of white elite racists.
Breaking news, Nuke. Breaking news, Nuke. People don't watch golf.
Fuck out of here. Oh, Nuke, you're so woke.
Bunch of country club snobs.
I love playing golf. I turn golf on when I want to go to sleep, or if Tiger Woods is in contention for a major on a Sunday.
I mean, people don't watch golf.
But how many people actually do that in the world? Just like I do the same thing. So I throw on the TV. I lay down on the couch on a Sunday afternoon. I have a big full belly of something that I've got the itis. I'm ready to kind of just doze in and out. And for 4.5 hours, I'm listening to this soft,
soothing voices of
Jim
Nance. Here we are on the
soft
third
violin.
Oh
yes.
but I mean,
so to that point though, Nuke, it's kind of topical. Brooks Koepka, who is the top golfer in the world right now, who just smoked the competition at Bethpage Black, one of the hardest courses in the world, was interviewed before the PGA Championship last week, and you know what he said?
He's like, golf is boring as hell.
He said golf is boring as hell. He goes, I'm all in it for the.
He zones out during the middle of run.
He goes, I'm pumped and ready to go. So the first 4 holes, I'm into it, and then holes 5 through 16, I just space out because it's boring as shit. And then
it sounds like my students, though. It's like you can't teach at school anymore. You have to have some sort of PowerPoint with video and fireworks and sparklers and neon lights. Just say, hey, or just pay attention. Okay. And that's everything. This boring thing it's funny because it's an attention span issue. You can't shorten up 18 holes and you can't shorten up 9 innings. It's just not going to happen. You can't.
And that's the whole, and that's why I brought it up, because that's the whole thing with baseball is it's boring, right? And I get that it is a little bit boring. I think, well, if you We're not teaching the game in the right way. We're not watching the game the right way. But football is easy to watch. There's action. There's hitting. It's all visceral. It's right there. There's not. You can watch football any way you want. You can think about it from a quarterback. Or you can think about it as like just run through the middle. Basketball, athletic, right? It's just like
baseball's just very passive.
But baseball is passive. So people don't get jacked up about a 15 pitch at bat where a guy worked back from an 0-2 count. That gets me jacked up because I'm like, what's coming next? I'm thinking about it from a batter. It's a thinking game. Right. But to every other 12-year-old out there, yeah, it's boring. It's boring as shit. But I would argue golf is a whole lot worse.
But that's fine. And that's your opinion. But so, like, you guys got to keep in mind
I guess I'm thinking about revenues.
A majority of people aren't watching baseball like you two watch baseball.
Right.
How about we work on educating them about how to watch it as opposed to saying, hey, since you're too stupid to get it, we're going to go ahead and dumb it down. We're going to do dance-offs and alligator pits. And, we're going to do that in the minor leagues because you can't get it.
But that's why we introduced mascots. That's why we introduced mascots. I mean, honestly, that's why we have mascots.
Here's the thing. I just want one simple thing. I don't care about the pace of play. I don't care about how long commercials are. I don't care about how long pitchers take between pitches. If I tune into a game and I see that a guy throws a ball half a foot outside of a strike zone and it's called a strike, I'm going to be like, what is this shit? Next channel.
Next channel.
It happens every fucking at-bat. It's either
the NFL has its dog shit officiating too. I mean, look at what just happened in the same way. Or look at the NHL. Look at the team that I root for.
It's just like it happened. The NBA is trash. The NFL is trash. But as the thing, those things have actions every play. Every play you have guys banging into each other. In baseball, you have sometimes you'll have an inning where a ball isn't put in play. So it's just different.
They discouraged contact. They took out some of the fun stuff. The thing is, actually, to make the way safer, they actually did water it down. And
give me a consistent strike zone. I don't like this bullshit of if an umpire is calling ball strikes for both teams, it's okay. No, it's not.
I think we've mentioned it. I really didn't mean to really blow the show up, but I think Kevin, your suggestion earlier on in one of the earlier episodes about miking players up, I think that would be the first step to really educating people.
It was awesome.
Well, how old were you guys when you first learned to keep score? How old were you guys? Each one of you guys, how old were you when you first learned to keep score?
I still don't know how to keep score.
Oh, damn it, Noog.
My dad taught me when I was
we have to teach our high school baseball players how to keep score.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing right then and there. Some of the most enjoyable parts about the game are actually that part of the nuance, and these kids aren't learning that. It's even when they're playing it, it's roll the ball out. Again, we just had our first club team, or our summer Legion team. And we brought in all these 7th to 8th graders that have been playing for 8,000 club teams. And when they come in here, they don't even know what is a relay. What is they're not being taught the nuances at a lower, at the low level, like the little guy level, where everything is just you're a big kid, hit the ball, go out there because you're just bigger than everybody else. And they collect these teams of big kids together, and all big kids go out and beat other big kids, and the little kids are left behind, not learning anything about the game either. And so you get a bunch of low baseball IQ guys, and that's part of the nuance of teaching the game for high schoolers too. But we're not teaching. The game's not being taught. The kids aren't. So there is no enjoyment in the nuance because everyone does think that's so boring. It's like looking at chess. Chess looks boring to a lot of people if you don't know what's going on. But once you learn the game, you're like, oh my God, that's actually pretty. That's warfare right there. That's excellent strategy. That's cool. But it has to be explained and laid out for someone first before they're ever going to have an opportunity to get with it. And I think the NFL's done a great job with that, by the way, of explaining the game. Because a lot of, when you watch some of these NFL live shows, they are breaking down by position. They're explaining what each guy is doing in their positions.
Well, Tony Romo.
Yep.
Tony Romo's a case in point, right? I mean, he literally tells you exactly what happens before it happens on the field.
By the way, MLB's bigger problem, obviously it has its flaws, but it's fine. You just have to have a certain mindset to watch baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But every national broadcast you get, and we saw this last year, I especially noticed it with John Smoltz and Joe Buck and that crew with Fox. But man, all this complaining about the new way that baseball is being played. It's you're supposed to be a spokesman for the league here. Stop shitting on your product.
Well,
Oh, that's kinda true.
They're complaining because the old way of complaining was called stuff that everyone complains is the old school rules that you guys complain about, which is throwing inside and brushing guys back. And
Well, it's not even that.
placement
It's
game.
like
So the people
like-
complain that direction instead.
it's just every single bit is like, oh, look at that guy. And there's a way where you can say like, oh, if this guy had a 2-strike approach, you know, he could attack that pitch this way. You know, he could have just not swung out of his shoes on this pitch. But it's just like so much overload.
Or put it in
on
context.
Yeah, but it's just like, oh man, these players fucking suck. Like,
But when you're breaking
Well,
down failure, it's going to look like you're complaining about someone because someone just failed miserably. And how do you break
The
down
thing
someone's
is, hey,
failure?
No, but I think like
there's
what
a lot
Aldo
of
is saying.
players. There's a lot of great things happening.
Right. I
Just-
think what Aldo is saying, like with John Smoltz, I remember listening to him, you know, break down how you set guys up and change eye levels and like where you like what you throw your slider off of. That doesn't change. That hasn't changed ever.
Mhm.
The only things that have changed and I always do change are the way you pitch according to swings.
Mhm.
So like guys don't throw fastballs down anymore. It's not because guys want to swing for launch angle and they want to get on plane with the ball, right? So now you got to learn how to throw a high fastball, and that also changes the whole kind of direction or approach to how you pitch too. Because if you're leading with a high fastball or you notice a low hand load, then what are you throwing off that high fastball? Are you throwing a 12-6 breaking ball? Are you throwing a changeup low and away? How do you go in, out, you know, east, west, north, south? That doesn't change. John Smoltz doesn't have to sit there and say the game sucks, you know, now. And I do agree with Aldo a little bit. And I agree with you too, Kev, because I mean, obviously, you know, you and I could sit in the same living room and just, you know, we feel like you're in a dugout. But to most people, you know, it does kind of like the one person that's trying to do the new analytic part of baseball that sucks is A-Rod.
Uh-huh.
He's terrible. I don't know how Zoe and Aldo feel about it. Sunday Night Baseball is a atrocity.
I haven't watched any Sunday Night Baseball this year.
I don't watch it either. I whatever, for a lot of reasons, and mostly because of A-Rod.
We
He's
are
just
spoiled.
terrible.
Steve Stone spoils us all, by the way.
Yeah, and
All
he's
spoiled by
right.
Steve.
But I mean, like, so anyway, I think, yeah, if John Smoltz comes out and says so there's something wrong with the game, if it's like one of his comments, that's fine. If he harps on it for 9 innings, then that's a problem.
So we're coming up on time. Thanks.
2
Nuke.
hours.
And
I know.
golf
I
is
just
boring.
tried to say that.
I think that was Nuke's main point. Golf is
Oh,
boring.
stab me with a spoon.
I want to end on 2 points. One, the White Sox are now 22-5 this season when they score at least 4 runs.
There you go.
That's interesting.
That means they've scored fewer than 4 runs a lot of times.
Yes. And 2, there is now video of Matthew Stafford watching Aaron Rodgers on TV try to chug a beer and then putting the camera on himself and chugging a full beer in under a second.
Oh,
This
this is
amazing.
going.
It's the Roger. This is
They're
I would
gone-
need Trubisky, the Aaron Rodgers challenge, where you just
Aaron
chug a
Rodgers. Yep.
The gauntlet has been thrown down.
Drag him. Now I just need Mitchell Trubisky to beer bong off the Sears Tower or some shit and just
Jesus.
flick him off. So
No.
that's it, though. Make sure you're following us at Pinwheels Ivy Pod on Twitter. You'll find all of our individual handles in the bio. Yeah, get that Sports Mockery app. Turn on push notifications. We got the MLB draft coming up. And
Watch baseball.
Yeah, watch baseball and watch Minnesota hopefully not hit 52 home runs this weekend. So for K-Fids in Las Vegas, Matt Anuko, Aldo Soto, I'm Matt Zawoski. They call me Zoe. It's the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. Have a great long weekend, everybody. Don't pull off your eyebrows with the barbecue, and we'll see you next week.